Hello everyone, myself Dr. Rajashri Zavde, Assistant Professor, DG College of Commerce, Satara. Today we are going to learn about performance of a contract. Students, you have learned in earlier lecture that every valid contract creates legal obligation on both the contracting parties, and this obligation continues till the contract has become actually performed or otherwise discharged. Performance of the contract is one of the various modes of discharge of the contract, and this is the most natural, desired, and usual mode of discharging an obligation. The term performance means what? The term performance means that the parties to the contract have fulfilled or carried out their respective obligations arising out of the contract. For example, A contracts to sell his book to B for rupees 50. A delivers the book and B makes the payment. The contract is said to be discharged by performance. Section 37 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 lays down the obligations of the parties regarding performance. It provides that the parties of the contract, the parties to the contract must either perform or offer to perform their respective promises unless such performance is carried out or dispensed. The provision of this act should be followed. So, here it is necessary to follow the obligations, duty which are prescribed under the contract. Now we'll see types of performance. So there are two types of performance under section 37. Let us study them in detail. First, actual performance, and second is attempted performance. Now we'll see first performance, that is actual performance. When a party to a contract has done what he had undertaken to do and there remains nothing to be done, by him the promise is said to have been actually performed and the liability of such a party comes to an end. For example, A, who is indebted to B for rupees 1000, promises to repay the amount after 2 months, and A repays the amount on the due date. This is actual performance. This is actual performance. Second is attempted performance. Sometimes when the performance becomes due, the promisor offers to perform his obligation, but the promisee refuses to accept the performance. This is known as attempted performance or tender. So here we have to understand that attempted performance treated as tender. So tender and the attempted performance are same only. For example, A promises to deliver certain goods to B. Then A takes the goods to the appointed place during business hours. But B refuses to take the delivery of goods. Thus, A has done what he was required to be done under the contract. It is treated as an attempted performance. In case of an attempted performance, the promisor shall not be held liable for non-performance as an attempted performance or tender. Tender is as good as performing the contract. Now we'll see offer or performance or tender. So we have seen the meaning. Now we'll see the essentials of a valid tender. Before that, we will see the kinds of tender. So there are two types of tender. Tender of goods and services and tender of money. What is tender of goods and services? So tender of goods and services means a contract to deliver goods or render some services is completely discharged when the goods are tendered for acceptance according to the terms of the contract. If the goods or services are refused, they need not be offered again and the promisor is discharged from his liability. At the same time, he may file a case against the promisee for non-acceptance. Next, tender of money. So this is second type, tender of money, where the debtor or promisor makes a valid tender, that is offer to pay the amount to the creditor and the creditor refuses to accept the same. The debtor is not discharged from his liability to pay the amount. In other words, a tender of money does not amount to discharge of the debt. The debtor continues to be liable for the payment of debt, but the debtor will not be liable for interest from the date of a valid tender. That is, no interest shall become payable from the date of the rejection of a valid tender of money. Now we'll see essentials of a valid tender. So here first is unconditional. So this is very essential and important aspect of a valid tender. So it must be unconditional. An unconditional tender is one which is in accordance with the terms of the contract. A conditional offer of a performance is not a good tender and the other party is entitled to reject it. For example, A debtor, offered to pay B, his creditor, the amount due to him if B sells certain goods to him. It is a conditional tender and therefore invalid. So now we will see proper time and place. It must be made at a proper time and proper place. Generally, the time and place of performance are agreed upon by the parties and the tender must be made accordingly. Next is tender as a whole. It must be for the whole obligation. For example, A promises to deliver 100 bags of rice on a certain day. If on the agreed day and place A offers to deliver 80 bags only, this is not a valid tender and A is not discharged from his obligation. However, a minor deviation from the terms of the contract may not render the tender invalid. So here, fulfill the whole part of the contract is needed. In case of proper performance or proper form is also we need to understand. It must be made to the promisee or his duly authorized agent. A tender to a stranger is not valid one. In case there are joint promises, it is not necessary for the promisor to offer performance to each one of them. So here we need to understand the tender or valid tender is unconditional. It should be in a proper time and place. Then there may be opportunity of inspection. So tender should be as a whole. It should be performed in duties and in obligation. The form of a tender, that should be a proper one. When we talk about all these essential ingredients of a valid tender, we need to understand that the role of the parties are very essential. Then the proper person. It should be done by or it should be performed by a proper party. Tender must be made to the proper person. Tender made to a stranger or a third party is not valid one. The promisor should tender the performance to the promisee only. When we talk about proper form, when the payment is offered, it should be in a form of current coins and notes. The other person is not bound to accept check unless he is ready and willing to accept. What is this tender as a whole? The tender must be whole and not in part. Tender is in part is no tender. It must be for the whole quantity contracted or for the whole obligation. Opportunity of inspection is what? A person to whom the tender is made must be given reasonable opportunity of inspection of goods delivered to him. The buyer should be in a position to satisfy himself so as to whether the goods offered are the same as promised. Then willingness. The party tendering the performance must be ready and willing to fulfill the obligation. When the promiser offers to make payment, actual cash or the money must be available with him. If the seller offers goods to the buyer, goods should be available with the seller. Joint promises. In this case, joint promise, there are several promises. Tender made to one of the several joint promises is a valid tender. It is not necessary that tender should be made to each one of them. So jointly that may be a delivery of some goods or the services. Now we'll see next part. Who can demand performance? As a general rule, the contract must be performed by the promiser either personally or through any other competent person. So there may be a promisee, there may be agent or legal representative. Time and place of performance. So this is really very important thing. So time and place of performance, which is under section 46 to 50, there are rules. So there should be reasonable time. The time should be specified one. Then there should be application by promisee for the performance, application by promiser, and the manner of performance. So all these are the essential ingredients about the rules of performance. So here, what is this application by promisee? When a promisee is to be performed certain duty, it is the duty of the promisee to apply for performance at a proper place and proper time. The proper time and place depend on the particulars of each case. Application by promiser, what is this? Where a promisee is to be performed, when promise is to be performed without application by the promisee and no place is fixed for the performance, it is the duty of the promisers to apply to the promisee to fix a reasonable place for performance. Manner of performance. The contract should be performed in the manner and at the time prescribed in the contract. So these are the very important things which we need to understand. So here, as we all know that the time and the place of performance and the other ingredient which are very essential. So here we will stop and we will continue in the next lecture.